Imagine your mind as a computer, not a sleek MacBook, more like one of those dusty old Windows 95 boxes, full of pop-ups, malware, and outdated operating systems installed by parents, schools, and society. You didn't choose that software, it was preloaded. And that indoctrination. This is right, this is wrong. Success means this, failure means that. It's basically the equivalent of a factory-set virus. But here's the good news. Just like every computer can be reformatted, you can wipe that shit clean. Now think of child prodigies. They're like brand new iPhones. No corrupted files, no malware. Everything is fast, fresh, unencumbered. They explore with curiosity, smashing random buttons, not giving a fuck about failure, because failure doesn't even exist in their operating system yet. It's just, oh, that button does this. It's data, feedback, that's all. And when you let yourself play like that, you re-enter Prodigy mode. A man once stood at a river bank with two buckets, one labelled right, the other labelled wrong. Every fish he caught, he wasted precious time trying to decide, is this right or wrong? By the time he finished, the fish died in his hands. Meanwhile, a child beside him just tossed every fish back into the river, laughing, learning. Which ones swim faster? Which ones leapt higher? The child grew wise, the man grew bitter. Which one are you choosing to be? Neuroscience shows your brain is plastic. It rewires itself every time you learn. Trauma wires fear loops into your amygdala. Indoctrination locks belief systems into your prefrontal cortex. But play, curiosity, experimentation, that fires dopamine and neuroplasticity. You literally grow new circuits. So every time you fail, your brain isn't saying you're wrong. It's saying, cool, new synaptic pathway unlocked. Like a video game achievement badge. Failure is feedback. You don't fail at walking when you trip. You just learn balance. Rigidity is a safety blanket. The rules you cling to, they aren't walls, they're training wheels. But training wheels on a Harley look ridiculous. Trauma is compression. Diamonds only form under pressure. Trauma isn't the end. It's the carbon that gets pressurized into brilliance once you stop resisting it. Duality is training mode. Right or wrong. It's just beginner mode on the video game of life. When you level up, you realise there's infinite strategies. Think of something you're afraid to try. Maybe singing in public, starting a project, asking for something. You say, what if I look stupid? That's your old indoctrination script. But notice, you've already done this 1,000 times in other ways. When you first learned to walk, you face planted daily, didn't stop. When you learned to talk, you dabbled in nonsense for months, didn't stop. When you learned to ride a bike, you fell, scraped your knees, cried, then kept riding. You already lived this belief unconsciously. Now the game is, bring it into everything else. If you keep clinging to right and wrong thinking, you'll spend your life living like a rat in a maze, chewing the bars, pissed at the system, never tasting freedom. That's the karma of inaction. You die with regrets. Your genius stillborn inside you, because you were too scared of being judged. But if you own this, if you play, test, break shit, cross disciplines, think in metaphor, see connections, your future explodes wide open. You'll be that weird person who everyone whispers about. How the hell do they think that? You'll be the polymath, the prodigy, the one who paints with math and calculates with poetry. That's what the world needs. Not another obedient cog, but someone who sees infinite shades of grey and makes something new from them. And as you hear this now, you can notice yourself remembering times you already experimented fearlessly. And each time you test and learn, you can feel that freedom expand. And as that feeling expands, you can imagine how much easier it becomes to live this way daily. Because you're already doing this unconsciously, naturally. And from now on, you'll catch yourself flipping failure into feedback automatically. Which means you're free to live like a prodigy again. So here's the bottom line. Child prodigies aren't special. They're just uncorrupted. They haven't been strangled by indoctrination, trauma, or the bullshit lie of polarity. When you strip that programming out of yourself, heal your wounds, and return to curiosity, you discover your genius. Science confirms it. Spirituality confirms it. Experience confirms it. And if you don't do it, you stagnate, shrink, rot in conformity. But if you do, you become the living fusion of science and art, logic and intuition, play and mastery. That's the upgrade. That's the reprogramming. That's your new operating system. So test, play, cross disciplines. Fuck up gloriously, learn faster, think metaphorically, and realise you already are the prodigy. You just forgot.